we were fortunate to make a couple of big plays early in the first half. One on a carry by Dane up the side, and obviously on the first series we hit the long pass. We got a lot of things we got to clean up, and you just as you proceed throughout a season, you got to make better and better improvement, and that's going to be a must for us.
Was this kind of the best case scenario? Because they obviously did move the ball a little bit, 200 yards in the first half, but the big plays kept the overall result kind of out of question. But you probably learned a lot from your team, did you not?
Well, I think we will. I mean, it's, again, you're right. We did learn a lot. I mean, just how new this squad is. And we, like we said from the get-go, we have no expectations. We don't. We're just you pull together, you work, you get a little better. We got to hold on to the ball better. I mean, that's inexcusable, and and that's all of us. That's a shared endeavor experience-wise. So, yeah, but part of this, guys needing to play. I mean, we had a bunch of guys out there that was the first time they'd ever played college football. And hopefully they'll grow and they'll benefit from that experience. It was good being able to play a good number of guys, and to do that with their families here, and just how special this weekend is.
And how critical was that first touchdown? I mean, 3rd and 12, Zeke kind of buys some time, scrambles, and then finds somebody. I mean, that part of the game, how important was that?
It was. Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, just because you got a 0-0 tie game. Yes, sir.
And, to see Dane Kinnaman have a game like this, how nice is that going to be for his confidence and just for the team to know what he can do?
Well, I mean, you think back even in our last game, he made a couple of key plays. The third down that he had over on our sideline in our last game there in the postseason, which led to the field goal to go up by 10 points. How key that that catch was, and he'll be a guy that'll have some opportunities moving forward.
And the way John Lee Eldridge ran today, had you seen that throughout camp? And what kind of are your expectations of him?
None of my guys. I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's about me if that's the case. I do think you do see capability, and you know what we did last year though too. You think of the carry that he had up the road here, about 120 miles, which was a good play. And today he had more of them.
Did he run the ball after that, though, at all last season? Or was that kind of his one carry?
Yeah. I mean, clearly he had more carries today. Correct.
Yeah. And then Brad Roberts, obviously his track background. Did you like the speed he showed when he got in the open field?
He did. What's neat is you just kind of never know whenever a guy has a major surgery, which he did. How are they going to play in that very next game? Just because that's a little bit of an indicator, and maybe he can build some confidence that way, by knowing, okay, I can lean on this wheel again.
Coach, they were moving the ball pretty well in the first half. What did you think about the way that your defense really clamped down as they got closer to the end zone?
They did, and that's important. Obviously, we're going to play against really, really good teams, like I've said over and over and over. Each team that we play could finish a game with more points than we have, and our guys are aware of that. We got to earn it. We are scratch and claw, and no matter the situation, you got to fight and battle. And I thought we built a little bit of a wall, even though they did they made some yards and they made some first downs, especially on those first 2 drives.
Daniel said before this game that he wanted to do less thinking and more reacting. How much do you think he accomplished that today?
Well, I don't want to take away the importance of being able to, to stay level. That's part of, for any player, I think especially for a quarterback. We ask a good bit of him. Not that we're making a ton of checks, but getting guys lined up, being able to initiate a motion. There were a couple of things today I think he'll look at and wish he would have allowed a motion to settle. But I mean, it helps having a guy that's played a good bit, and obviously it was good to get Jensen Jones out there some too.
Coach, there were a couple of 4th and 2s in the first half that led to field goals. Was there any consideration to go for it there?
There was not. I just felt like at that point in the game that points mattered, and just trying to extend a lead. Not that maybe in the future there couldn't be.
When you talk about your guys and their level of focus, I mean, what did you think about how much focus they showed for the opener to get out there and? Man.
Well, I think you're eager to play, as much as anything. You think how much investment you put in January and February and spring ball and and how hard it is to get through the Air Force Academy. I mean, if you're a guy that's wearing wearing pads and you're in that locker room right now, it's amazing. I mean, I truly don't know how they do it when it comes to the academic part, the military requirements, and yet still they're able to be involved in, in a sport like football. So I salute them to no end, to be able to do that part of it as cadets at the United States Air Force Academy. Yet to be able to play football, you don't get very many opportunities. You get 12 that are listed, but at any time, all those could disappear too. And so that's where you have to make the most of the next snap if you get a next snap. But again, you aren't entitled to a next snap. You got to be able to go earn that.
So I know the game was out of hand when he came out, but Hazik, he's okay?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
We'll find out.
All right, just had to make sure. And one last thing for you. You've had so much success here. You've been doing this for a while. For opening day, do you still get fired up as a coach for opening day?
Well, you do every day for practice, not just opening day of a game. I mean, I think, here, if you aren't, golly, man, if you don't have juice running through you and you aren't thinking and trying to always get better, and that's the neat part about being around our coaching staff and our players. There's drive that way. They always want to improve. They want to grow. I love being around people like that. There's a bounce that you have in your step. It makes you eager to get to work, and often you're at work before the sun rises. So yes, sir.
First drive of the season, you have 3rd and 12, and you hit 80 yards. I mean, what's it like to start the whole season like that?
It's a good feeling. We worked hard all summer, and I think that the hard work that we all put in, it showed today. So that's good.
And talk me through that play, because obviously you kind of scrambled, bought some time, and then what did you see develop?
Well, I was actually looking for DC on the curl, and I couldn't quite see him. I don't think he could see me. And I saw some space open up in the pocket, and then I saw Dane out there, and I was like, I know Dane's gonna catch it. So.
And to see, 4 touchdowns of 70 yards, you don't see that very often from Air Force. We talked about having fun with this offense, but is that kind of indicative of the pieces you have to work with this year?
Yes, sir, I believe so. And it's exciting, being able to pop some big ones like Brad, Brad's long run. So I think it was a good feeling to see those things pop.
Is this a new thing for you to wear the diesel hat?
No, sir.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Last year, first game. Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And then, you talked about maybe being a little stronger this year, and I think you showed that a little bit on the touchdown run. Did you, when you were out there on the field, could you see the results that you kind of hoped for?
Yes, sir. I think just be able to get in the weight room and gain some weight and just be able to get stronger hands and, drive a little bit more. I think I was able to power through a couple things that I wasn't previously.
Okay. And I don't know if we'll talk to you before Colorado, so I kind of want to ask you now,
Sure.
What does that game mean to you? Having an in-state Power 5 team coming to Falcon Stadium, and the community is going to really get behind it.
Yes, sir. It means a lot. I don't think the team wants to win that game any more than any other game, but it means a lot being able to play somebody in state and have a nice little rivalry.
For you, did you surprise yourself with the way you came out with the two long touchdowns like that? Did that catch you off guard?
The passing one, maybe. Just, didn't expect Dane to be that open. The running one, no. We always have our outside guys. They always block well. So for Dane to be able to run to the sideline and beat the outside backer, it was all just about, just running with speed then.
I know the game was out of hand when you came out, but you did come out mid-drive. Are you good? Are you healthy?
Yes, sir. I'm okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Dane was mentioning how there was a specific block that sprung him on the run, but overall, what did you think about the way that your line played in front of you? Because to me, it seemed like there were not a lot of negative plays today.
They played great. I believe that they always, that's why we have the diesel hats. Everything they embody is just toughness and being able to block hard and play hard. So I think they showed that today.
I asked Coach this, but how well do you think you executed today, less thinking and more reacting? You said that was something you felt going into this season as a veteran.
Personally or as a team?
Personally.
I think I executed well. There was a couple things, I thought I could have did better. And, I'll watch film and hopefully do those things better next week. But I thought I was able to play fast, being able to have some games under my belt. I think the game is, starting to slow down just because of practicing hard and stuff like that. So that's a good feeling.
Dane, those first two plays, rather long. I mean, for you, like, how exciting was it to get out and have two big touchdowns right out the gate?
Yeah, it was exciting. I know, like, on that run, Ben Jefferson and X that was blocking, I think it was DC, both of them had great blocks, and that's kind of what sprung it. You know, Zeke made a good decision, and the line gave him enough time to pitch the ball and get it out on the perimeter. So, I mean, if those blocks don't happen, that run doesn't happen. So those were great blocks by those guys on the perimeter.
Now, you know, speaking of great blocking on the perimeter, I mean, you guys had a lot of big runs throughout the day. I mean, for you, seeing the O-line, the way everyone was blocking, like, you know, how cool was that just to see everyone just kind of running wild out there?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, Jalen Johnson, first touch, took it probably, I don't know, 70 yards or something like that. And Cade Harris had a great block, and all those guys were blocking good. So, I mean, that's going to help us. Blocking on the perimeter is always important. So it was definitely really good to see that.
How did you, how did you feel about the way you executed, given, I mean, I'm sure how excited you guys were, you know, to get out there for the opener?
I mean, you know, it was a good opener, but we just got to get back in and keep working. You know, you can always get better, look at the film, see what mistakes you made, try to correct those throughout the week, and then just try and get better every week, and that's what we'll try to do.
First game of the season, did you feel like there were any growing pains in that first half?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's definitely stuff that we can get better with, you know, whether it's getting leverage on blocks or anything like that, or just lining up faster and knowing what to do. So, I mean, we'll definitely go back and look at the film and just try and get better as we go back next week.
On the long pass, did you see what was going on in the backfield? I mean, that play took a little while to develop.
Yeah.
Were you kind of surprised it was still going?
A little bit. I mean, Zeke made a great play. I saw Zeke kind of rolling out, and you know he made a great throw. So I knew it was kind of taking a little bit longer, but I trusted Zeke to put it where it needed to be, and he made a good decision.
How exhilarating is it to come out and have a first 10 minutes like that to a season?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, we had a good camp, so it was good to see that work kind of pay off a little bit. But you know, we'll just have to let that one go now and then get ready for next week.
Did you show yourself anything? I mean, obviously, you'd been in these games before. You'd been a big player, but you hadn't had these explosive giant plays. Did
Yeah.
you know you had it in you, or does this
I mean, to be honest, like those plays, like on the perimeter for that run. I mean, if Ben doesn't make that block, like that's really just the crease was there, you know. So I mean, that was Ben's block. We sprung it, and then that was Zeke's throw that sprung that too. So I mean, those were all great plays by those guys.
Did you think you were out of bounds? Like, were you looking down to see how close?
I didn't think about that. I didn't know if I was close, maybe a little bit, but I mean, I guess I wasn't, so it turned out good.
All right. I think
So
we're
we have Camby Golf.
yeah. So Camby, the pick. I mean, your first one in your career happens right in front of you like that. Kind of tell me what you saw.
Just seen the quarterback. He threw a high ball, and luckily it hit the receiver's hands because I was right behind him and stuff, and just really fell right to me. I mean, we work tip drill in practice and stuff, so it's kind of a perfect moment, you know.
And the turnovers you guys had, I mean, obviously the big plays made a big difference in the scoreboard, but the game was a lot closer, I think, early. But, you know, the fumble inside the 5 and your pick kind of changed all of that. Did you sense how important those were in that first half?
Those were big time, you know, big time plays. It was really good stops to stop the momentum and stuff, especially the strip fumble from T.D. Blackman. That was really good play, you know. But, yeah.
Who fell on that? Do you know?
I think it was Michael Mack that fell on that.
Okay.
You know, just everyone runs to the ball, pursuit. Just got to have it.
Was this kind of, for both of you, the ideal way to start a season? I mean, you did get tested, obviously. It was a team that can move the ball, can play some defense, but you had the big plays to keep the score kind of, in hand. Was that kind of the best of all worlds?
Yeah, I mean, Northern Iowa is a good team. So, I mean, we were preparing hard for them, knowing it was going to be a challenge. So it was definitely good, to get the win and go out there and play hard and play good and, like, get back into game speed and get back into where you're trying to run the offense or run the defense, get back in, seeing all that. So, I mean, it was a good situation, and then we'll just try and improve on it as we go forward.
And now with this one in the books, you have Colorado coming. That's going to be a huge game for this community. What's that going to be like, preparing for this week, knowing that, the stakes are going to be a little bit higher at Falcon Stadium?
I would just say it's really just the next game. The next game is the most important one, and that's what it all means to us. I mean, they're a good team. We know about them. We played them back in 2020 and stuff. But just prepare for the next game. That's really it.
No, you summed it up good.
Or was it 2019?
I think 2019.
2019. My fault.
Canby, for you, so, talking about the interception, fumble recovery, they had moved the ball pretty effectively, and like your interception was kind of the first thing that really, I felt like, I think you mentioned turning the momentum, like what was happening on defense kind of like after that? Because I think the next big drive they had on you ended with the fumble. So did you, when you guys had that, did you feel like at that point you had taken control of the game?
I wouldn't say taking control of the game. I mean, it was just really nice play. I mean, we were really surprised by how far the quarterback can really throw. Making a throw from the hash to the opposite sideline is a really long throw, and we were really surprised about that. But that's about all I would say about that.
What did you think just being a part of that, just the opening, 10, 15 minutes of the game, watching Dane break off 2 long ones, you guys are jumping on him real quick. What was that like to be a part of?
It was amazing. I mean, because we go against them all the time in practice and stuff, and really good players, and sometimes they get us, and just really good feeling, knowing it's not us that's getting caught the ball,
TD, I like to mark my plays when there's something significant happening. And I think I've at least 6, 7 plays where you guys just delivered some shots. Can you tell me about what the add to the defense was and the way you guys were hitting today?
It's just first game. Everybody's excited. We as a defense, we like to be violent, like to fly around, like to have everyone chasing the ball. So once everybody gets there and we get them stood up or meet them in the hole, we like to deliver it to them.
They moved the ball pretty effectively, and then we saw that turnover. We saw the interception. Did you feel like that kind of turned things for you guys as a defense?
Yeah, we had some assignments missed early on in the game. Like I said, first game of the season, everything's not going to be perfect. So, yeah, getting a turnover, getting some stops. We had a false start that helped us on that first drive a little bit. But, yeah, just being able to overcome that and make plays towards the end of the game, later in the game.
Did it surprise you how quick the offense was striking?
They were going fast today. There were some big plays. I was excited for them. It's kind of like shocking in some ways because, you're normally like, all right, we got a couple minutes, rest, figure out what we're doing wrong. But they were scoring, so it's a great feeling.
So everyone's going to be talking about CU coming in here, in-state rivalry. The community is going to be real big on this. Did you save any hits, those hard hits for the Buffs?
Nah, we delivered them all today. We'll get some more for next Saturday.
Based off the name, do you ever feel like you're playing the wrong side of the ball?
I've gotten asked that so many times. But as a kid, I always played running back. I was a running back all the way up until pretty much freshman year of high school. And they're like, no, we think you'll play you'll play faster and on varsity faster if you convert to linebacker. And I've played linebacker since.
Coach mentioned he didn't necessarily have a lot of expectations for you guys coming in here. Did you have any? Did you have any goals? Did you want to get a touchdown this year?
That'd be great. I mean, it's not on my bucket list or anything. I'm just trying to win as many games as we possibly can. But yeah, touchdown would be great at some point.
The age-old question, rest or rust. Was there any rust today? Because you seemed like you came out ready to go.
I think we were ready to go. I think we had all of our assignments down for the most part. Like I said earlier, we kind of missed some assignments, missed some gaps, but I think we're ready to go and excited for this first game.
So the fumble you caused, they obviously played the replay a bunch of times because they were looking to see if he was down. But so I was watching you're coming in from the side. You could just try to down him inside the 5, but it looked like you had a plan to go in there and strip it. What's going through your mind in that split second when you're going in to make that play?
You just have to kind of see the ball. We practice it all the time, taking chances, trying to get the ball out, getting it back to our offense. So if he's holding it a little bit loose, I try to take my chances, and it came out this time. So
How nice was that? Obviously they're right there at the goal line. To feel the ball come out. What does that feel like as a linebacker?
It was a great feeling, knowing that they had driven it a little bit and they were getting close inside the red zone. So knowing that we had got the ball back to our offense was a great feeling.
And then how stressful is it watching the replay, waiting for them to decide if you forced a fumble or not? What are those few minutes like?
I had gotten all excited, thinking I forced a fumble, and no, they were reviewing it. And the closer you look, it's it could go either way. But it was a little roller coaster, but it was good. It was good. It turned out in our favor.
And do you think this was the best of all worlds to get a lopsided win, but also have a team that exposed a few things that you guys can now go back and learn from?
Yeah, always having that first game. There's going to be some mistakes made, and having a good team that comes in here is going to compete with us and show us what we need to work on for next week. It's been a good feeling. So
Cool. Are you more optimistic about things after one game?
always, there's always something you can fix, but you have to keep going forward. You can't look back now.